All right, on this episode of Bouts Talking Bouts, happy to be talking to a WWE Hall of Famer, and he's got quite the show coming through my neck of the woods. Dirty Details Tour rolling on through, and there are multiple dates. It begins at the beginning of October, and one of the dates I'm really noticing is Yuck Yucks in Oshawa, Ontario, October 23rd, and I've got Jake Roberts on the program to talk a little bit about that. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going great, man. Couldn't be any better if I tried. Really couldn't, man. All the great things that are happening. I don't know if you've had a chance to see the Peanut Butter Falcon yet. Have you seen that movie yet?
No, I haven't, but I was actually going to ask you about that.
Get out there, man. It's good. You're going to love me in it. I tell you, a real dirtbag.
Yeah, and how did that come about, you getting in that movie?
I do some horrible things in that movie.
What was it like being a part of all of that, though? Because it seems like it's just getting rave reviews, great cast and everything.
Yeah. It was really fun to do, man. It was kind of emotional for me because I had a stepbrother that was mentally challenged, and he had a lot of problems. He grew old and had dental problems, and people liked to point at him, make fun of him and stuff. And so it was a little bit emotional for me. I lost him when we were 13 years old. He was the same age I was, but he died of a common cold. Their system's just different, man, and it was really weird, but it left a little hole in my heart because, one thing about these kids that are autistic or mentally challenged, I've never seen any of them do anything mean to anybody, or intentionally hurt someone else. I see regular people that are supposed to have their stuff together be complete jerks. Yet these kids who are supposedly mentally challenged are sweet and wonderful. And for me to have to be mean to that kid in the movie, it was tough. It was a little tough for me. I'd go back to him after we'd do the shoot. I'm like, look now, man, Zach, I doggone it, this is what I'm supposed to do, man. It's not the way I feel. I wouldn't be saying these things, man, but they want me to say them, and he'd just look at me and just, it's okay, Jake, and make me feel like complete crap. So that was kind of funny, but being there with Shia LaBeouf, he struggles with alcohol and drugs, and I was able to, hopefully help him a little bit, and that's what I like to do now, man, is try to help others get a grip on their lives and, turn back that clock a little bit and have some happiness, man, by being simple and being clean. And that's basically what the show's about, man, is just remembering good times. And I love doing the show because I meet fans that have been fans of wrestling for years, and I get to hear their stories about the first time they seen Jake the Snake, or what they were doing when they seen the Macho Man get bit by the Cobra, or maybe they want to talk about Rick Rude or something. And that program that we did, and hear their stories. And each time they start to tell them, man, I can see their eyes light up. They just start like dancing. It's like fire in their eyes. And I can see that they're having a good time remembering that, because they're remembering somebody that's passed now, probably, and whether it be a father or grandfather or whatever that they shared that moment with. So hearing those stories makes me feel wonderful, and it tells me that all those years that at times I doubted what I was doing made a difference. Evidently it did. And that's pretty good to know that your life's work actually was worth doing.
Well, you seem in a great place in a lot of ways, man. And I mean, you talk about inspiring people where they can light you up, or you can light them up, rather. And I noticed on that old school episode of Raw that Dean Ambrose was, it seemed like he was trying to keep his composure, but he was very much lighting up as well. And I mean, that's a guy who, in a lot of ways, is like a peer with you, being that he's a wrestler. So what's it like to have a moment like that? It must be indescribable almost, right?
No, it's wonderful, man. I can't tell you how much it means to me, man. It really does. It's honoring me in a special way, and I really appreciate the guys doing it. I was really surprised by CM Punk tonight. CM Punk at the time, he was pretty much a big dog in the WWE. At that moment, he sat on the bottom rope and got out of the way to let me have that moment. And that's a real man there. That's a guy that knows what he's doing. And he really surprised me in doing it, and I appreciated it. Anytime I get the opportunity to go back, I love the guys so much, and I love wrestling so much, although I don't agree with what they're doing with it these days. But, they got to do what they got to do, I guess. And, there's obviously a real short, and they're really short talent these days, and nobody gets the time to learn the trade properly. You know, back in my days, it took you 5 or 10 years to get established. Well, today you can get established in 2 weeks. You know, so there's a lot of shortcuts being taken. So you don't see the psychology anymore. You don't see the complete wrestler, a guy that can do his own damned interviews and speak out of his own mouth without having somebody be a puppet in his ear. With a plug in his ear telling him what to say. I mean, that's just sad. Just an incomplete piece of talent out there, I think. But, it is what it is. You got the AEW starting up, so maybe something's going to come out of that. I don't know. I certainly hope so. But I know competition's good for everybody. It makes you step up your game a little bit. But me doing this comedy tour, man, I'm just out here giving my thanks to the fans, and hopefully they'll bring their memorabilia along so I can sign some of that stuff up. But I want to hear their stories, and if anybody out there is struggling with addiction, I would love to sit down with you for a few minutes and see if I can help you get pointed in the right direction. Because that's what I dig doing nowadays, man. I've gotten so much out of that. It's incredible. I keep doing the resurrection of Jake the Snake, which, by the way, has been voted the second best resurrection of all time. Which is, it'd be nice to be number one, but I'll take number two in this time, with this. But, it's just, it's good to see what you've done has made a difference. And when you get a letter from a kid that's thanking you for helping their daddy because now daddy's moved back home, it don't get no better than that, man.
And I'm curious.
Don't get no better than that. And I've gotten lots of letters from kids thanking me, and lots of letters from parents that have thanked me for doing that because now they understand the addiction process a little bit better. And that's what we've all got to do, man. We've all got to start, instead of shying away from somebody and going the other direction, we gotta meet with them, man. We gotta try to help these people, man. Like I've said so many times, there's nobody enjoying themselves when you're an addict. Okay, you're not enjoying it when you're the addict, and anybody around you is damn sure not enjoying it because you're making everybody miserable by the crap you're doing. But we just have to take time and put out a strong, good heart to give the love and take the time to help these people get past that much time. It doesn't happen overnight, man. Getting better doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes a lot of people to help somebody get right. Because you can't leave them alone because we're no good left alone, man. I'll tell you that right now.
I think that's why people rallied behind your journey so much, though. Like, they were checking out the resurrection of Jake the Snake and just saw all the, issues you were going through and what you were able to overcome at, the accountability crib and everything like that. So I'm kind of wondering, do you have a segment of fans that maybe aren't necessarily, like, ardent pro wrestling fans that you've noticed, like, coming out to shows and sharing experiences?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I've met a lot of people, man, that aren't wrestling fans. They're just wanting to know more about my journey and how I got there and what helped them most. Most people don't have somebody like Diamond Dallas Page that lets you stay in his house for 3 years and not charges you a dime and make sure that you can afford to be there. He did that for me. And I think that's what happens to most people is they'll go into a rehab for 90 days, but then when they come out, they're bombarded by bill collectors and by ex-wives and by house payments, car payments, insurance payments. Oh, my God. And all of a sudden, they're right back to using again because they can't deal with all this pressure being slapped in the face when they first come out. And, I stayed there for them for 3 years, man, and he made sure that, if I was running short, he paid my bills, man. He did everything for me. And that's how I was able to stay focused on getting sober and clean. And it does take time, man. You don't break a habit that you've been doing for years overnight. It just don't happen. That'd be like asking you to quit eating chocolate or quit eating ice cream. Don't ever eat ice cream again or you'll die. Really? Oh, man, I don't know if I can do that. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, and this movie seemed like, I was just going to say, this movie seems like a more just, like, empowering, like, all-encompassing kind of a thing, as opposed to, like, Beyond the Mat, which, like, kind of had, like, a more austere kind of a thing, and, like, the editing didn't seem very genuine. Is that something that maybe, like...
It was a ripoff, man. but I don't even want to talk about that bullshit. But
Oh no, no, I was just gonna. All I was.
everything else is great, man. My life is so good right now. You know, Peanut Butter Falcon's out there. Plus, I'm about to go to China and do a full-length picture where I play a gunslinger that's in trouble and abusing Chinese to help him nurse him back to health, and he winds up falling for the Chinese people, man, and becoming an advocate for them. Because they, at the time, there was a period piece back in the 1800s when we were abusing the Chinese that were shipped over to work on our railroads. And it was a real bad time for Chinese over here, man. But, yeah, it's going to be fun doing that. Of course, I got the Jericho cruise coming up. We've got a book that'll probably be out before the first year, hopefully. That's going to be 600 pages of that. And we're calling that book The Walls Do Talk, which I think kind of fits it. And the book is all about me, man, so it's going to be interesting.
You got a lot of cool projects on the go, and I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm at the best place in my life, man. I've fallen in love with someone, and that's really great. Living out in the country and around animals and stuff, and got projects around here that I'm messing with. I'm getting back to nature a little bit, man. Kind of coming home type feeling for me, and it feels really, really awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in a good place, man, and I'm really happy to hear that. But through the talk, we've mentioned, AEW, and you talk about the Jericho cruise and stuff like that, and you've had some brushes over the years with, like, being the booker for certain companies, like, 1992, during that, like, steroid era kind of thing. Is that still something you would want to do at some point, like, helm a company in, like, a booker kind of position, or even, like, as a road agent?
I would love to do it. My heart would certainly be into it, but it'd have to be a special situation. And bottom line is, the product would have to change for me to be a part of it. I want to go back to the old style of wrestling where you actually wrestled, and you went out there and told a story with your match instead of this biff, bomb, bing, zing, zam, boom, 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 gone, done. What was that? I want to go back to wrestling where I can turn on the TV, and then when I turn on the TV, I'll see the fans actually get off their butts and cheer. When's the last time you seen that happen? Been a while. You don't see people jumping up and down the crowd anymore. They're sitting over there looking at their damn phones, man. Are you kidding me? Because they've seen the same crap over and over and over and over. It gets boring, man. Come on. Go back to, you call it wrestling, you only put 35 minutes of it on a 3-hour show. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? And hopefully AEW will help change that.
Yeah, I mean, and I think to your prior point too, I think having competition can be an interesting sort of a thing. And I was gonna ask you about something, because it seems like you didn't necessarily have like the best perception of this at the time, but I think it's kind of become a pseudo cult classic kind of thing with time. I'm talking about the spin the wheel, make the deal match with Sting and WCW. What are your memories of that? Do you have a different perception of it at this point? Do you kind of take it for what it is and it's this cult classic thing, or?
I had a miserable time in that match. Sting was pretty lazy. He didn't care much about doing anything, man. His heart wasn't into it. I guess I don't understand that, because he had he was given the reins, man. You're the guy, dude. You're the guy, and they were paying him to be the guy, but the guaranteed contract made him lazy, man. And he's like, oh man, I don't like being the top guy anymore, man. Let somebody else go out and shoot the angles and stuff. Are you kidding me? I'd die for that. And that's kind of the attitude he had in the ring, man. He wasn't excited about being in there. Let's just do the job and get out of there, man. Come on. Oh man, I hated that.
Yeah, that must have had to have been disappointing. But was the actual vignette fun to film in any kind of way, or like there was just like no part of the process that was redeeming?
It wasn't much fun at all. I mean, Dusty made it a little fun, but Bill Watts ruined all that. So,
oh yeah,
it was what it was, man.
Yeah, he seems to be a fan of doing that. That Bill Watts, he can kind of ruin things a bit, but
real piece of shit.
Yeah, that's for sure, no doubt.
Shit word, but he is shit, and and that's just the shit he is. And he can't help his shit because he's just shit. Yeah, he's a no good piece of pie. Okay, let me get on to something else.
Yeah, well, something.
I'm looking forward to coming up to Oshawa, man, and having a great time. And I hope people bring out their memorabilia. I'd love to sign it up for them. Maybe worth a couple of dollars more. Of course, we'll bring a lot of merchandise and stuff up for the fans. And again, if somebody's struggling, man, and you hear this, I'm available to try to help you in any way I can.
Yeah, and you've had some. I was just gonna say you've had some interesting moments over the years living with like different like wrestling personalities like Hawk and Animal and like Rick Rude and Nikita Koloff were on the couch at various points. You were in the same apartment building as Dynamite Kid. My buddy Connor Dodsworth though, he was wondering like what was your most memorable experience living with a wrestler over the years?
Probably Hawk. I pulled a rib on him. At the time I was hooked up with Missy Hyatt, and we went in his room, which was a big no-no. You don't ever go in his room, and he had threatened everybody about that, so that meant I had to. So I went in there and took his light bulbs out and then squirted some cream rinse on his pillow, and then broke a couple of Missy's fingernails off and put them in the bed. So when he came in that night, he couldn't get his light on, and he laid down. Of course, the fingernails poked him in the back or whatever. Then he laid his head on the pillow, and there was just goo on the pillow. And he put two and two together, which was Shake must have screwed Missy in here. And we were in my room laughing about it, biting our lip. All of a sudden, my whole door just collapsed into the room. He ran right through it and dove on the bed and was choking me. Missy tried to get him to stop. He backhanded her across the room. So it was kind of interesting. Yeah.
Never a boring moment in the life of Jake Roberts, but I got a bit of a deep cut question for you because you had a Mean Gene interview back in the day where you were interviewing you were talking about a Honky Tonk Man match rather, and you had a shirt on called. Oh yeah, no, I was gonna ask you about the shirt you were wearing though because it said Death Valley Beach Club, and even Gene Okerlund made a remark about it. What is Death Valley Beach Club?
Hell if I know. I don't remember that, bro. I've had too many T-shirts, I guess, bro. I don't know.
It was a cool.
Sounds pretty cryptic, though. I hope I had a good time.
It was a great promo. I mean, I was a fan of it, but I mean, that's another instance of like where your passion comes through. And just like I kind of had one more question as we're sort of wrapping things up though, because I noticed you had some time on the indie circuit for a while where you were in promotions like New Japan Pro Wrestling, AAA, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, a lot of different psychology considerations. And you're one of those guys who is one of the more known like in-ring psychology guys. How fun was it to be able to work in promotions that have like such different crowd dynamics and everything like that?
Oh, it was great, man. Especially Smoky Mountain, man. I wound up DDT and Dirty White Boy's wife. That was a blast. Anytime I can DDT a woman, I have fun. So, but whether it be Dark Journey or whatever, but yeah, I got a hell of a reaction out of the fans, man. Of course, in Smoky Mountains, it was kind of scary because they don't play up there in those mountains, man. They take their wrestling serious, and I had some death threats and. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I still like to go back to the old days, man, where they take it to heart and enjoy it. AAA was the same thing. I mean, I was stuck in a bull arena for 5 hours in Mexico City, man, because there was thousands of fans waiting outside for me to kill me. And that's just fun for me, whether somebody stood, like in Dallas, Texas, a guy stood up and pointed a gun at me and shot at me 3 times. He missed. He got his point across, but I was real happy, man, because if I can twist you up to make you do something like that, which is completely out of your wheelhouse, then I'm doing my job. I'm getting to you. And that's what your job should be as a wrestler, is get people emotionally involved in it, man, to where they act out or jump up and down or scream or do something good, and that to me has always been what wrestling was about. So basically masturbating people's emotions.
Well, people can come out and get their emotions masturbated on the Dirty Details tour.
The Dirty Details tour, brother. Not only will they get them masturbated, they'll pop too. I promise you.
Jake the Snake Roberts. JakeTheSnakeRoberts.com. People can check that out. All ticket details are on sites like Ticketfly and Eventbrite, but JakeTheSnakeRoberts.com, the go-to aggregator for all of that material and stuff like that. It should be a great night of storytelling, taking it from the ring to all the various towns and stuff like that. Really looking forward to checking out the show once you come through Oshawa, and best of luck with the rest of the dates too, Jake.
Yep, can't wait to get there, bro. Thank you so much for contacting me.